Hi students, welcome to Naresh Koppu channel. I am Ankit Reddy. I teach geography for UPSP aspirants. I have completed my MSc geography from Usman University and I also qualified for UGC NET and currently I'm working at the faculty at Narayan S Academy. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about how to prepare geography for UPSC exam. This course is going to be helpful for the beginners. So as a beginner, you'll be having many doubts related to preparation of geography. So this session will help you to set a plan for geography preparation. So please listen carefully. I think you all are aware of the pattern of the examination, right? So there are three stages of examination. One is prelims, mains, and interview. So prelims is MCQ, exam is MCQ based examination, right? And mains is written, question answers type. And interview, you need to appear physically. So for prelims and mains, UPSC has given syllabus in its website. Okay, and however it is vague, so I'll explain it detailedly a few months later. So you all know in prelims, GS paper 1, there will be 100 questions, right? So each question carry 2 marks. So total 200. So in this 100 questions, at least you will get 10 questions from geography. Similarly, in mains, so all GS papers together aggregate is around 1250 marks, right? From this 1250 marks, geography, you will get 250 marks related to geography. So by this we can say that geography is very important for UPSC. So today we'll discuss how to prepare geography. So first of all, you need to have clear cut understanding of the syllabus. You should know the syllabus given by UPSC for both prelims and mains. Okay, and you should study the previous year's question papers, both prelims and mains. Why? Because the syllabus given by UPSC for geography is very vague. It is not clear. So this preparing or reading your previous year question papers will help you to know the actual syllabus of the examination and the depth of the level of the depth of the questions both in prelims and mains. Okay, so first we'll start with syllabus. What is there in the UPSC website? The syllabus given by UPSC. So syllabus for prelims, it is just given that Indian and world geography, physical, social, economic, and general issues as environment and ecology, biodiversity, climate change. So this is the syllabus for prelims. Okay, it is very vague, right? For the beginner, it is very difficult to understand this. So I have simplified this syllabus for more prelims and mains, so that I will discuss in the latter part of the session. Okay, and let's see the syllabus. So in UPSC mains examination, geography majorly directly covers GS paper 1 and indirectly covers GS paper 3. Okay, so GS paper 1 syllabus related to geography. So first, the salient features of world physical geography. So physical geography means that includes geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography. Okay, so this statement itself speaks volumes. Okay, it is one of the major, physical geography is one of the major part of your geography. So from which you both in mains and prelims, you will get good questions. Okay, then distribution of key natural resources, right? So every country has its resources, right? So all countries might not have same kind of resources. Different countries have different type of resources. So based on these natural resources of a particular country, a country's foreign policy is dependent. See, India is dependent on oil for your Arab countries, right? For Iraq, Saudi and all. Why? Because we don't have oil resource in the country. Similarly, other resources like coal, uranium, all type of resources, key distributions, UPS is expecting the aspirants to learn these natural resources which are located in world, especially the concentration on South Asia and Indian subcontinent. Next, the factors responsible for the location of industries. For your primary, that is your agriculture activity; secondary, that is your industrial activities; tertiary, that is your service sector. Okay, location. For example, for agriculture, you need certain climatic conditions for growing certain crops. Everywhere you cannot grow all type of crops. Every specific region provides a particular environment for particular crop. Similarly, for the industries as well. For example, for your sugar industry. Sugar industry has to be located near the sugarcane fields. Why? Because if it is located far away from the sugar industry is located far away from the sugarcane fields, then when after harvesting this sugarcane crop, if it takes more time to transport this, then the juice content in the sugarcane will be lost. Okay, similarly, for the iron and steel industries are located near the raw material areas of your iron ore and coal. Okay, so there are varied factors which are responsible for the location of your primary, secondary, and tertiary activities. So that is in your syllabus. Next, the important geophysical phenomena like earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, right? All these are there in your syllabus. So frequently you listen, right, in news. At some part of the world, there is earthquake has taken place. And in India, near the coastal areas, suffer from cyclones. Okay, volcanic activities, tsunamis. So these are all the important geological phenomena which are there in the syllabus. Then, important geographical features and their location. Right, Earth has many features, right? Mountains, plains, plateaus, deltas, waterfalls and all. So geographical features and their location. You should know the location, where in which continent it is there in, which country it is there in, which state it is there in. Okay. Then changes in the critical geographical features. Okay. For example, you all know that the polar ice caps are melting. So when this polar ice caps melt, they turn into water, right? So when they turn into water, the flora and fauna in particular area, in that particular area will be get affected. Okay, so that studies also are also mentioned in the syllabus. So this is about your GS paper 1. Then in the GS paper 3, I've already told you, right? GS paper 1, in GS paper 1, it is directly geography paper. But in GS paper 3, it is, you get indirect questions from geography, okay, related to economy and ecology, right? So the major crops, major crops, cropping pattern, irrigation, transport, agriculture produce issue, all these topics are covered under agriculture. Okay, then conservation, environmental pollution, okay, air pollution, conservation of wildlife, natural vegetation. All these topics are part of actually ecology environment, but these topics also interlink with geography. Then disaster management, right? So earthquake, tsunami, floods, cyclones, these are all disasters, right? So in order to understand disaster management, you need to have a strong grip in geography. Okay, so this is about the syllabus which is mentioned in the UPSC website. If you can see this, the syllabus is very vague, right? You don't get any clear-cut understanding by looking at the syllabus. So what will help you is the questions, the previous year's questions of your prelims and mains. Okay, so we'll first deal with prelims. This is the first hurdle, right? So prelims. In prelims, you get 4 types of geography questions: conceptual, factual, current affairs based, map based. Okay, for each question, I'll give some examples so that we'll get understood. So first, conceptual questions. See, this is your 2019 prelims question. So why are dewdrops not formed on cloudy night? Right. So in order to answer this question, first of all, you need to be aware that what is dewdrops and about clouds. And you should also know about the Earth's radiation, vertical distribution of temperature, horizontal distribution of temperature, albedo effect. So in order to solve these questions, you need to have clear-cut understanding about the concepts related to geography. So these are conceptual. Until unless you have clear-cut understanding about these concepts, you will not able to answer this question. So this is the first type of questions you get in geography. The second type is factual. You need not to follow the concept here. You just need to be good at beheading things. Because factual questions, right? Rivers. Okay, there is no logic to remember the names of rivers and tributaries, right? So you should behead some things. So these are purely factual based questions. So consider the following rivers: Barak, Lohit, Subansari. So these are northeastern rivers. So here the examiner is asking which of the above flows through Arunachal Pradesh. So you need to identify the river which flows through Arunachal Pradesh. So this is purely factual question. No concept is required here. Next type of question is your current affairs question. The questions are framed based on your current affairs. For example, why does the government of India promote the use of neem coated urea in agriculture? So agriculture is part of geography, right? So this is purely current affairs question. Why government is promoting the neem coated urea? So you should be aware about the Indian agriculture, fertilizers, and the government schemes as well. Okay, this is current affairs based question. Next, map based questions. See, which of one of the following pairs of islands is separated from each other by 10-degree channel? So he's asking the 10-degree channel separates 2 island groups. So you need to identify the following pair. So it is Andaman Nicobar. So this is map based. You'll able to solve this question by having proper understanding related to map. So these are the 4 types of question you get in prelims related to geography. So you need to have clear-cut understanding related to concepts. You should know some facts, and you should follow current affairs, and you should also be you should also have knowledge about the map based questions, map pointing, which areas are located in which place, which continent, which state, okay, on which banks of river, okay, all. This is the type of questions you get in prelims. So now let's check what type of questions you get in mains. Mains is written exam, right? You all know, right? So here, let's check the first question. Assess the impact of global warming on coral life system with examples. So this question is part of climatology, right? If you can remember, we have just seen in the syllabus, right? Changes in the critical geological features, including water bodies and ice caps, and flora and fauna that affect such changes. So here, this question, assess the impact of global warming on the coral life system with example, is part of that topic. Okay, so in order to solve this question, first of all, you need to know the concept, what is global warming? And you should also know what is corals. And then you should analyze how this global warming is impacting this coral life, right? Your coral bleaching and all. So that should be your approach. Okay, then this is concepts plus current affairs linked. The next question, the Himalayas are highly prone to landslides. Discuss the causes and suggest suitable measures. See, Himalayan regions are prone to landslides. So this is fact. And for this, there are some reasons. That is, it has perfect causes. And you need to mention some suitable mitigation. So first of all, you need to know why Himalayan region are prone to landslides. What are the causes? Then you have to write the mitigation measures for that particular answer. So these answers come under factual question basically. Why? Because causes for this is a factual question. Then discuss the causes of depletion of mangroves and explain their importance in maintaining coastal ecology. So mangroves is a type of forest where you can find in the coastal areas, in the marshy lands. So you need to be aware about this mangroves, what are mangroves, okay, and how they are important in maintaining the coastal ecology, how it supports biodiversity. Like your Sundarbans is a mangrove forest, right? It's about wide variety of flora and fauna. Okay, so this question is from resources, that is natural resources, right? Natural resources. Now, petroleum refineries are not necessarily located near to the crude oil producing areas, particularly in many of developing countries. Explain its implications. So just now we have seen in the syllabus, right? Factors responsible for the location of your primary, secondary, and tertiary industry. So here the secondary industry. Previous question, natural resource. Mangroves is an forest resource, is a natural resource, right? Yeah. So you will get such kind of questions in the mains. So they may purely ask you the conceptual questions, or they may mix up the question with the current events. Okay. So why there is question related to mangroves in 2019? Because these mangroves have been destroying by the afforestation activities and by the natural elements like cyclones, tsunamis and all. So that's why it is there in the question, in the news. So both in mains and prelims, current affairs related to geography is very, very important. So first thing, you should be having clear-cut understanding about the static part in geography. Then you should follow the current affairs regularly, and you should relate this current affairs with the static part, right? So what should be your approach? So first of all, you should master the facts. Okay, you should master the facts. For example, you should know the total agriculture area which is under cultivation in India. You should know the population. You should know the demographics, that is your sex ratio, density of the population, particular area. Okay, time zones and all. And you should correlate what you read in current affairs with popular topic. For instance, Kaveri River dispute was in news in the 2018 and 19, right? So if this river is in news, first you need to focus on the tributaries of that river, important cities which are located on the banks of this river, and the relevant details, why it is in news. You see, rivers is part of your geography, right? But it is in news due to the water sharing dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so that's how you need to correlate the current affairs with the popular topic. Then you should focus on the schemes and programs related to government, right? For example, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme. Okay, how it is related to geography? Because in India, female sex ratio is very less. For 1,000 males, there are around 940 females. So female population is very less. So that's why government has started a scheme, Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao, to protect the females from foeticide. Okay. And likewise, we'll be having number of schemes related to agriculture. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sanchay Yojana, soil health cards. Okay. PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. All these are related to agriculture, farmer schemes, right? So you should be following these schemes and programs from the government. And most important thing is, whenever you find a place in newspaper, particular name, city name or country's name in newspaper, river name, mountains name in newspaper, you should definitely search it in Atlas, or you can use Google Earth app. Why? Because you will get map based questions. Map based questions. So whatever the place that comes in news, you should be aware of it, the location of that particular place on the world map. Okay, so this should be your approach. Okay, so first of all, what you need to do, you need to know, first of all, you should check the syllabus and you should check the previous year question papers, both for prelims and mains. Then you have to develop a steady approach based on your strengths and weakness. And every topic you should relate geography topics with current affairs. Why? Because UPSC has stopped asking questions directly. You are getting very rare questions in geography directly. They are mixing it with current affairs. Okay, current affairs related to geography is very, very important. And the next important thing is shortlisting the books. So there are thousands of books related to geography, but all those thousands of books are not related to UPSC, right? There are always, you should have a short list books, right? Instead of reading hundreds of books, you should read only few books for 100 times. Okay. Repetition revision is important, not the quantity. Quality is important. Okay. So these are the book list which will help you to cover the geography syllabus. So first, books are your NCERTs. 6th to 10th, 6th to 12th NCERTs. Okay, start from 6th class. Okay, NCERTs. After completing this NCERTs thoroughly, then go for the book called A Certificate of Course in Geography by Gochi Leong. It is an Oxford publication. Gochi Leong. Okay, this Savindra Singh and D.R. Kulla books are optional. Okay, that means you can use it as reference. Don't read the complete book. If you have any doubts, you can use this book for your physical geography and Indian geography by D.R. Kulla, physical geography by Savindra Singh. Okay. And always maintain an atlas with you. Always keep an atlas with you. Always keep atlas on your study table. So whenever there is a place in news, please check it on the atlas. And for current affairs, how to prepare for current affairs? Newspaper editorials. If there is any topic related to geography, it may be on rivers, natural resource, population control, okay, land issues. So such type of topics, if you think that this particular topic is related to geography, by related to a syllabus for UPSC, read that editorial and make notes of it. And you can also collect information from your Yojana and Kurukshetra, especially for your agriculture irrigation part, cropping patterns and all. Okay, and apart from this, you can also go for Vision IAS or IAS Baba current affairs magazines, okay, related to geography. And the last and most important thing is visualization. So this is the best tip I can give to you, that is visualization. So for every topic in geography, almost for every topic in geography, there are videos in YouTube. If you want to understand the cyclones, you can just type cyclone in YouTube. There will be n number of videos. So by that, but seeing that video, what happens is you can develop the visualization of the topic. Okay, it is not easy for your history or your economy or polity. In history and art and culture, this will help. But in geography, most of the topics you can go for visualization. That means you can see videos in YouTube related to particular topic. There are n number of videos related to geography subjects. Okay, some are from Indian or some are from US or Australia, but these YouTube videos will help you to visualize the concepts, or it will make you to understand the concepts perfectly. Okay, then some of you might join in coaching institutes, or some of you might learn things on self, that is self preparation. So whatever it may be. So if you're going for coaching, maintain running notes and personal notes. Maintaining personal notes for geography is very, very important. Why? Because when you read something, everything seems perfect. But after 2 to 3 months, God has given a gift to us, right? To forget. The greatest gift is forget. So to forget. So after listening to class or reading to the particular topic, write down your own personal notes. This will help you in revision. This will help you in revision. Okay, revision is most important for geography, or else will forget the concepts. Because and every concept in geography is interlinked. Okay, so revision is very much important. Then come to practice. All these 7 points are just 50% of your preparation. Next 50% of preparation comes from practicing. Practice make man's perfect. How should you should practice? First of all, you should practice previous year's questions, both for prelims and mains. Then you should attend test series conducted at various institutes, right? Okay. If you don't want to go for coaching, it's okay, well and fine. You can prepare on self. But for practicing, you should depend on test series. It is very much important. Joining test series is very much important because it will, by practicing questions, you can assess your knowledge related to subject. Are you able to solve the questions? What are your mistakes? Okay. Why? Because you are not preparing for UPSC in order to gain knowledge, right? You want to clear this examination. That's why you are preparing. So always keep end in your mind. Whenever you listen to a particular class or when you're reading to a book, always keep exam in your mindset, in your mind, how he can ask some questions related to prelims or mains. Because at the end, your aim is to crack UPSC, not gaining knowledge. So practicing will help you very much.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe Naresh Kapoor ఛానల్. నేను చేసిన ప్రతి వీడియో మీకు నోటిఫికేషన్ కింద రావాలంటే సబ్స్క్రైబ్ పక్కన ఉండి బెల్ ఐకాన్ ప్రెస్ చేయండి. సో మీకు నోటిఫికేషన్లు వస్తాయి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.